The contact is always there and it's always changing based on what you want out of the horse. So if you are, whoa, okay. So if you're trying to do the half pass, for example, you want her bent to in the way that you're going, and then if she yields to that, then you give with that rein, and then the legs are always providing the impulsion to balance that.
Yeah, yeah, good. So, Stephen, I don't know you.
Yeah. Stephen. I saw how well you got her to carry yourself, and how much less you had to do when she got going that way.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot easier for you when she's carrying herself properly.
Absolutely, and that's legs. Get them moving. Legs. Absolutely, and that I don't have. And Megan can take it, but that I don't have to do very much. That I want them light to the aids and thinking. And I think forward or I think sideways. They go immediately. They're practically reading my mind. And I got to tell you, Arrow's hot thoroughbred, so delicate, he read my mind. Good or bad, he would read my mind. Even Starman, I was much younger then. But, you visualize it, you think it, and then they do it from this kind of work. Meg?
You're not just bending, like, her head and neck, you're bending her whole entire body.
Right.
And your arms, like, stay completely still, and it's in your leg more than your hands.
Right, bending her from her nose to her tail, not just her neck, not just that neck. Yeah.
I like the constant thought of going forward, even when you're collecting and coming back from a more extension. Even when you bring her back, you're thinking forward, and she's energetic and lively.
Yes, exactly. Even in the halt, even in the reinback, they have to think forward, always thinking, and especially show horse. I was always rather an aggressive rider myself. I mean, still aggressive. I gotta know they're going. When I say, come on, let's go, they're going. So impulsion. Yeah.
I liked really watching how patient you were with her and waiting for her to give back to you and changing a few things here and there until she understood what you wanted and not getting too emotional or overreacting in the beginning when she was a little bit more difficult.
Right, and really being able to read your horses, it's so true. She's a sensitive mare. She's a real redhead. I can be much stronger. We have stallions and geldings and all kinds that maybe you have to be stronger to get a point across. You really have to be stronger to be clear with them, to get what you're talking about. But being able to read the horses and know when to get into one. I have one that didn't want to go down the trail the other day and half rearing and turning, and I had to gut up and say, come on, girl, we got to get by here. And that was get in the back of the saddle and come on, you're doing that. But with this mare doing this, she doesn't need too aggressive. And yes, to be patient and read the horses. Sometimes you'll get a lot more done by waiting it out than by all of a sudden, for sure not emotion, but being more aggressive. And it depends on the situation and the horse. That's reading them, but yeah.
I liked how you were keeping her balance, whether you're going forward or backwards or sideways, by changing your pressure with your hands or your legs, but always working to keep her in balance.
Right. Very good. Always light, balance, yeah, just a feeling, before it gets out of control, Yes.
Just learning how to use the exact pressure, not too much or not too little, for each and every horse.
Right, and that's just experimenting. That's riding and experimenting and see when you get a reaction, when you need the stick or when you need the spur or maybe just the cluck, and that's experimenting. Yeah.
Impulsion, always.
Yeah.
Never too much hand and always backing it up with leg everywhere, so they're not overflexed or behind you, always coming from behind.
Right, and that'll help keep them lighter. Jimmy Williams told me that years ago about getting them light. I'm a little kid, and all the words are hanging. Come on, you got to make him use your legs. You got to use your legs, use the stick, and it just made no sense to me. Oh my God, that's going to make him light. Well, today I get it. When you get this dancing, the mouth is easy. That's much lighter. Yeah.
I like how you were able to keep the hind end dancing without getting her overexcited, because you said she was a sensitive horse,
right,
but you were able to keep her engaged and in front of you without her getting over it. And plus there was a lot of times you watch people in the rings and they do a huge production to change leads, and it's just really simple.
Yes.
And it's just how quiet you were and the subtlety of asking the horse and getting her to do what you wanted her to do.
Yes, absolutely. And really no emotion. No, Jimmy taught me that years ago. Emotions must not have control when attempting to reach a goal. Efforts to succeed instead are best directed by the head. That was one of his. You know, there's no emotion. I'm doing a job. You've got to move off my leg. You've got to go forward or back. George is great like that. There's no emotion at all in what I'm doing. I might have to stay in her and ask and ask and ask. I might have to go, but there's no emotion. It's simply, no, until you say, yes, ma'am, we have to work through this, but never emotion.
You were strong when you needed it, but then very soft, and the horse really responded well to that.
Right, great. And soft without falling apart or totally abandoning her. But yes, she knows. You know, there can be 10 pounds, there can be 9 pounds, there can be 2 pounds, there can be 20 pounds. The changes constantly, constantly.
She really became a workman while you were riding her, and by the end, she was just waiting for you to ask her another question.
Right, right. We're on the same team. We're on not on a different team. Again, sometimes that emotional thing. You're not on. We're on the same team. I want her to look good and be good, and I want to be good for her.
I loved watching her hands. You have a beautiful feel, and she always, you're giving when she wants it, and then you're taking when she wants it, and you're always backing it up with that impulsion with the leg. And you're a perfect example of why we should never seesaw the bed or anything, because your hands are beautiful.
Well, thank you very much.